Hello everyone. You probably landed on this video because of your interest in Azure Databases for PostgreSQL Server, which is a PaaS service for Postgres databases in Azure. This service offers an inbuilt backup capability that helps you retain backups for up to 35 days. Then why do you need Azure Backup? Azure Backup is a built-in Azure service that provides enterprise-class backup features for your various data assets. In case of Azure PostgreSQL, it provides capabilities such as long-term retention for up to 10 years, customer-controlled database-level backup and restores. With use of pgdump, restores are possible across database versions. Backups are securely stored in a separate fault domain in Azure Backup storage accounts, and all of these actions and monitoring happens centrally from a single pane of glass called the Backup Center. Let's look at the demo now. Log into the Azure portal and create a backup vault. Think of backup vault as a logical construct masking the actual backup storage accounts where your backups will be stored. Fill in the details and select the appropriate storage redundancy. Currently, you can choose between locally redundant and geo-redundant. Hit review and create, and that's it. The vault will be created in a few minutes. While that happens, let's switch to an already existing vault. You can either go to the backup vault list from the search bar as shown earlier, or instead go to Backup Center, which is the single pane of glass for all things backup related. The Backup Center aggregates and shows data across vault subscriptions, locations, as well as tenants. From the vaults list, choose the backup vault which you want to back up your Postgres databases to. Click on plus backup to configure protection on Postgres databases. Next, create a new backup policy. At present, only weekly backup frequency is supported. However, you can choose to trigger backup on multiple days in a week under this option. Next, specify the retention settings. You can define multiple retention rules. For example, the default retention for all backups could be set to say 4 weeks. However, should you choose to retain few backups for different duration, add a new retention rule. So here, I would retain the first successful backup of the month for 2 months in hot tier and 24 months in the archive tier. Select the appropriate tiering option to move data across the 2 tiers. Once the policy is created, move on to select the Postgres databases you want to protect. This blade will list all Postgres servers in the user's context across subscriptions and resource groups. You can select multiple databases across multiple Azure PostgreSQL servers. At this point, the service validates whether it has appropriate permissions to back up the Postgres databases so selected. Please note, Azure Backup does not ask for or store your credentials. We connect to the database using Azure Active Directory based authentication. Refer to the link in the info box to set up the AAD based authentications for the validations to succeed. Review the details and hit Configure Backup. Configure Backup operation will now be triggered for all the selected databases and its status is tracked under backup instances. Once protection is successfully configured, backups will be triggered as per the schedule. Drill down to one of the backup instances. Since my initial scheduled backup is still pending, I can trigger an on-demand backup on this database. Choose from the available retention rules associated with the policy. Once you have one or more recovery points, you can trigger restore. Select from the list of available recovery points. I just have one here. Define where and how to restore. You can restore as files in which the backup is dumped to a target blob storage account. Alternatively, you can restore as database to a target Azure Postgres server. Again, validation is triggered to check if the service has appropriate access on the target server or storage account. You can track all backup and restore operations either under the backup vault or at an aggregate level under the Backup Center. That's all for the demo. Hope you found this video useful.